Hey, hello, and welcome or welcome back, I suppose. First things first, not doing my makeup. I'm having a little bit of a breakout at the minute because I've got some sort of weird allergy flare up. Don't worry, I haven't got the pox. It's just allergies. But every antihistamine I've ever taken knocks me out, so I'm just kind of having to grin and bear it. But anyway, that's where we are. No makeup for this video. So today we are looking at The Imperfect Art of Caring by, I believe, Jessica Ryn. I will correct myself if I'm wrong there. I'd usually have the book on me, but I'm filming with my phone and I listen to this as an audiobook. So, first off, I want to say that I did enjoy this book. I thought it was fun, but I don't think I'd want to read it again. So my biggest issue with it is that I feel like it doesn't have enough faith in its reader to remember things. The biggest issue there is that our main character is constantly under the belief that she is bad news, that she carries almost like she carries something within her that causes bad things to happen around her. And the phrase bad news is repeated a lot, especially in the early going of the book, and it just feels like either you needed to find another phrase for this or you needed to, I'm saying you as if I'm directly talking to Ryn here, but I just mean that there isn't enough faith in the reader to remember that we have been told. And I know that repetition is often a stylistic choice, but this didn't feel like a stylistic choice. You know, it hit a point where I found myself listening going, yes, I get it, I understand, I know that she's bad news. And this isn't for a younger reader either. Had this been for somebody younger, where there's perhaps a little more guidance needed, where the balance of showing versus telling skews more towards telling, I would understand that. But given that this is for an adult reader, and not even a young adult reader, then having a little more faith, telling a little less, showing a little more, and avoiding repetition where possible would make improvements to this book, especially in the early going, because the early parts of a book, even if it does improve later on, are going to be the parts where you're most likely to lose a reader. Because if a reader has enjoyed the first part and it starts to dip, they've sort of got that, like, well, I've started it, so I am going to finish it, see how it goes. But with this, I mean, I'm going to finish every book I read for the sake of review. And overall, I thought this book was enjoyable. It's very much the kind of pop lit that I read a lot of, in terms of, you know, if you read people like Beth O'Leary, Lucy Diamond, those kind of authors, this is very much that kind of book, and generally something I enjoy. And there were certainly a lot of aspects that I did enjoy with this. You know, I certainly enjoyed how the character development worked with everybody involved. I enjoyed the handling. I don't know if that's the right phrase for it, but I certainly appreciated the handling of a character with learning disabilities not feeling completely patronising. It's very clear that she is someone with a younger mental capacity than her actual age. I'm not sure of the right phrasing for that, but she is somebody who is 19 years. This is not our protagonist. She is another character, but she is pretty central to the plot, though, and she's someone who is, I believe, 19 years old, but is somebody whose knowledge of the world, through various factors, is that of somebody incredibly younger than her, through a mix of her learning difficulties and being incredibly isolated. And I thought the writing of her character was handled really well. I think her character, the moments where she was around, I think they were my favourite parts of the book, just because I really enjoyed how she was treated by both author and other characters. I really liked just, it's nice to see that sort of character. You don't get to see them particularly often. And it's not a pity party. This is a very good book in terms of he is showing that sometimes people need help, even if they're too stubborn to ask. Also, here's how to care for somebody without patronising them. Because, a lot of people who do need care can often feel like they're being infantilized and patronised, because a lot of people can have some independence, while some independence in certain areas, but in others it's just not going to happen. And that is something that is just spoken about really well in this book, and I think that is one of the key themes of this book, is caring in both a I care about you sense, and caring as in being a carer is something that is a key aspect of this book, and I believe it's something that is handled beautifully. And I think that was why I liked reading about Tammy in particular, who is the girl with learning difficulties, because you can watch her develop into somebody who learns how to have independence while never being cured, as it were, because a lot of people write like that in a way with any kind of mental difficulties. The idea that you can just learn to get better, it's not going to happen, but you can learn to figure your way in the world. Something else that I thought this book did really well was showing how sometimes people who care for others do need care for themselves sometimes. You've got a woman who has full-time care of her husband, and at some point she realises it's too much. Sometimes I just need to be me without being attached to him. And I think that is something that is a very difficult topic to approach, and I think that Ryn handled it really beautifully. I know I keep saying that kind of phrase over and over, but I don't have a thesaurus on hand, so you're getting what you're getting. Yeah, overall, I thought it was a good book. Not going to be one of my favourites of the year, but certainly one that I was happy that I had read. I think while a lot of the topics were handled well, there were certain writing style choices more than the content. I think it was more writing style choices that kind of put me off this book a little bit, but overall I did really enjoy it. And if you enjoy pop fiction in any kind of way, I think you'll probably enjoy this. And in that same way, if you like Lucy Diamond, if you like Beth O'Leary, those kind of books, you will probably like this. So, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful whenever you are watching this. Right.